Let's change tack because of our time. Looking at the crisis, the internal crisis within the People's Democratic Party, which has deepened when INEC rejected the Wike-backed acting national chairman submitted by the faction. The rejection was actually based on non-compliance with statutory requirements under the Electoral Act. How do you help us understand the twist or the turn of things within the PDP?
Yeah, actually, the secretary of the party, Samuel Anyanwu, and Abdurrahman, the chairman of the Wike faction of the party, wrote a letter to INEC notifying it of desire to postpone the primaries of the party in Ekiti State, citing logistical issues. So they are written to INEC seeking to postpone the Ekiti governorship primaries due to logistical issues. INEC then fired back through one of his staff, who goes by the name Rose O. Anthony. And INEC said, your letter on the above subject refers. The commission draws your attention that the notice is not in compliance with the requirement of Part 2, 12.3 of the Regulations and Guidelines for Political Parties, 2022, which provides that the national chairman and national secretary of the party shall jointly sign the notice of convention, congress, conference, or meetings and submit same to the commission, be guided. The commission hereby informs you that it has rejected your submission for non-compliance with the requirements of the Electoral Act. What this means is that, as far as INEC is concerned, the chairman of the PDP that it recognizes is not Abdurrahman, but the immediate past chairman. So, as far as INEC is concerned, it should have been Anyanwu and Damagum that will sign that letter. And without the signatures of both men, whatever communication, whatever notice that they are firing at INEC will not be recognized. So effectively, a message has been sent to the PDP, the faction of Wike, that Abdurrahman is not recognized as chairman of the party. INEC didn't mention whom it recognizes. But one thing I know is that until a court of law validates either of Abdurrahman or any other person for that matter, INEC will simply stick to the status quo ante. And what's the status quo ante? It is Damagum and Samuel Anyanwu. That is my reading of what INEC is doing. And don't forget, the crisis, the convention of the PDP held in Ibadan was also not without controversy. Some of the governors said, well, the decision that was taken, they did not support it. And we've also seen the Wike faction going to court now, seeking another of the court, stopping the INEC from recognizing those who emerged from the Ibadan convention of the party. Again, Sule Lamido, who went to court seeking to stop the convention from taking place because he was not allowed to contest for the position of chairman. They have made efforts, they reached out to him trying to make peace, but Sule Lamido is insisting that the decisions reached at the Ibadan convention of the party should be seen as null and void. So he does not recognize the decisions reached because he believes that it's an injustice done to him. So the way it is now, from my reading of this thing, it will be difficult, and anyone who wants to contest the election in Ekiti and Osun on the platform of PDP has to think twice, because the question would then be, who is the chairman that will be recognized by INEC ahead of that election? Because you can't get Damagum and Anyanwu to sit down together and sign a document at this stage. And that could have been the problem solver. But they are now in opposite directions. Chairman and secretary, they are in opposite directions. So how do you get them to sign documents, expression of interest form and all that, nomination forms and all that for party members? So it's difficult to get both men to come together since they've decided to part ways. Secondly, the officials who emerged from the convention held in Ibadan, if they were to sign documents of the party, if they were to sign nomination forms and all that, they are going to be sued. Because remember, that case was in court, but the party decided to go ahead and conduct the convention, despite the fact that Justice Omotosho ordered them to not do the convention, despite the fact that Justice Lifu ordered them not to go ahead with the convention. So, head or tail is a precarious situation for the party. And members will be wondering now who will sign their form. Especially those who want to contest in Ekiti and Osun. And those elections are getting closer and closer. So who will sign? That is the thing. Whoever signs, the other side will challenge the legality of such a person signing. Those who can sign and probably get away with it now are Anya with the secretary and Damagum, the chairman, because as far as INEC is concerned, those are the people that they know. But
that's right.
How do you get people who are now in opposite directions to come together and agree to sign a document? So it's going to be tough, and as I see it, the crisis in the PDP will continue to get worse. This is
Right.
what I see.
Right. Anthony Chubuike says Wike is a political powerhouse, but even power can't replace process. If the law says internal party elections must follow due process, must follow due procedure, then the law must stand. Bukola Oyemi says the PDP keeps throwing premium free drama. If this family meeting doesn't end soon, 2027 may become a walkover for other parties. Hassan Bature Salisu says INEC is right to insist on compliance, but timing and neutrality are crucial. Anything that looks like selective interpretation of the law is dangerous for democracy. Maureen Oliver says the crisis is no longer ideological, it's personal. Until PDP stops running like a fraternity of egos, not a political organization, reforms will remain impossible. And we have Nelson, we have Ehide therapist, Ehide the priest says this country will go through this dark time and come out of it with the time and put the enemy of this country to big shame. Nelson Adife says PDP is just being petty and abusing the adage Agba Kinshi Orubiewe. They can't continue this way and still oppose one party state, though it's a room for SDP, ABGA, and so on to zoom forward. All right, Mikhail, because of our time, I would have asked more questions, but then we need to carry on.